arguably, is the Hollow, since that was sort of what drove everybody apart at the end of season 4, is that still sort of the main threat in season 5, or are we getting something new?
You're gonna get all kinds of business, Andy. All kinds of threats and tension and manipulating puppeteers and scary folk. But the big consequence, of course, is should these people spend time together, we're going to start to see exactly what does happen. And it's not just a wilting flower. It escalates. And of course, knowing that Klaus isn't able to really do well without his Elijah, and knowing that Klaus doesn't like to follow the rules very well, we may start to very quickly see what those consequences actually are.
Sort of cowardly.
Did we say cowardly?
I'm saving it all up, you see, and then I'm going to use it as ammunition when I direct him. I'll soak it all up like a big sponge and then spray it. That sounded sexy.
It's you, Mark. 18 years ago.
I should have mouthed it. It was almost worse when I mouthed it.
Next question, please.
Please. For the record, I can't believe it's taken me this long to bring this up, but there is a special guest in the season premiere of the originals by the name of Candace King. I think there might be a few Caroline fans in the house. Joseph, what was your reaction to learning that this couple might finally be reuniting in some way?
Yeah.
You can mouth it.
Carefully. Yeah, can I mouth it? I mean, I suspect that there might be something more to be told of the story, and I think, as we talked about, there's always been a kind of curiosity or a sort of feeling of something unresolved there. So I'm interested to see what happens. I've read some scenes which they're in together, so that's exciting. At least I know a little more than you guys. But yeah, I don't know. It feels right. It's the last season. It feels right. Yeah.
It does. I mean, Caroline is the head mistress, I guess, though I'm sure there's a better term these days, of Klaus's daughter's school. So they are going to have an interaction at some point. And when all is said and done, she, outside of his family, has actually known him quite an amount of time and seen him sort of from Klaus the Terrible to Klaus the Father. And in her own experience now as a mother and everything that she's loved and lost in her life, she actually has a perspective for him in the way that he's living his life right now, and actually I think can be a bit of a boost for him in a time when he needs it the most.
Sort of like a better version of Elijah taking over, but in a more understanding and generally more attractive way.
Now, apologies because I did not warn Joseph about this ahead of time, but due to scheduling, you were supposed to be making a little appearance in the Vampire Diaries series finale, but you were not able to for scheduling reasons.
Right.
So the generous donation was delivered by mail.
Yeah.
Let's say you were to have delivered the check in person. How might that have gone?
If I was to deliver the check in person, I think it might have been misread as something sort of untoward. Like Indecent Proposal. Like, hey, here's $3 million. You're not obligated. But I am being very generous.
Now,
you, Andy.
Twitter.
I had one last to do it.
No. I didn't even mouth it.
Her face was just one of many familiar faces that you saw up in that sizzle reel. I'm wondering, might we see any other characters that we have not seen in a long time pop back up?
I'd like to. Obviously, I call it an open door policy with a very small checkbook. So anybody who wants to come play and come revisit their character, I would love nothing more than to see them. If there's ways we could see them dead or alive, that would be lovely. But it was important for me to have Candace join the show in whatever way she can, and hopefully we'll be able to see her more than once. And I, of course, would love to see Headmaster Lark Saltzman. And above that, you know, I certainly would love nothing more.
And Stefan, what's he up to these days?
Too soon.
And we've reached the darkest part of the bench. Riley, back to you. I know you touched a little bit on Freya and Keelan's relationship, but what did that really mean to you to be able to sort of tell that story that I think resonated with a lot of people?
I mean, it ended up really being quite an honor to represent, you know, love is love. And show this, you know, these two people that fall for each other, and to see Freya actually have that, I think was really special for me, because, you know, I've been playing this character who is just always in the midst of everything, never, you know, family first, and she never really thinks about herself. And so to see her vulnerable for the first time and really think twice about what she's doing because she has someone, you know, waiting for her now, it was just really special and exciting, and I'm excited to see where that goes for her.
Yeah. So are we potentially going to be seeing more of Keelan in the future?
Yeah, we're definitely going to see her in the first couple episodes, and that's as far as we have booked and written. But we love her, and I love my Christina Moses. She's a gorgeous, fierce, talented woman. So I'll have her as long as she'll have us.
Yes, that's what I like to hear. Now we talked about, you know, the show's been on for 4 seasons and it's been so long, but you know, Daniel and Joseph especially, you guys have been at this since like 2011 on the Vampire Diaries. If 2017 now, right? If 2017 Joseph and Daniel were to time travel back and talk to, you know, day one Joseph and Daniel on Vampire Diaries, you know, what would you say? How would
Change your hair.
Change your hair.
But that's me talking to Joseph. That's me going back to Joseph.
Oh, it was 2010, mate.
Yeah.
Get that straight.
And is that still there?
I think you,
No, because Daniel started earlier.
Yeah. Sort of a pioneer trailblazer. Better than me.
Yeah. I remember you justifying that haircut.
Stop it.
To me.
I still
wanted
justify
sort of a timeless feel. I mean, you know,
5 years of this. I'm done.
time travel. Come on.
time travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you go back? The first thing I said, I built a time machine.
Let me give you the winners of all the major sporting events.
That's the plot to Back to the Future 2. Still that. This is really probably
Like an almanac or something. I'd say enjoy the ride. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You know, it has its ups and downs, but ultimately it's something I'm incredibly proud to be and have been a part of. I wouldn't change a thing.
I mean,
Apart from his hat.
serious answer. I think I'd say take bigger risks. You know, like continue to the beautiful safety that you have when you're in a show is that you have this liberty to be able to explore a character for as long as you can, and I would say just keep taking chances, keep being brave with it. You know, don't I don't know. I think that when it does conclude, because it does fly by at time, you start to think. I mean, I watched the way like Yusuf Gaywood works, you know, and I think he's just like the most amazing actor on our show. Like, and watching him work is just so inspiring. He just, you know, he takes such incredible chances, and I wish I'd kind of worked like that the whole way through. I've never worked like that.
That's actually not true. I have to jump in. I know this wasn't my question, but I will say this. Season 2, episode 3. Julie says that's when I got promoted as a regular in mine. Is that right? The only reason that I got promoted as a regular, we were shooting this scene. Daniel Gillis, you know, he's loose and everything. He flips me off in the scene. As a joke, you know, and he was just playing around, very loose, very open as an actor. And I tied time travel back to when I was in theater school, and I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. This is just play. We're having a good time. And because of that, I think, you know, I'm on this show now, so I appreciate every actor that I've had a chance to work with on this show, and these two guys especially, I learned a great deal from, so right back at you, but I appreciate you very much. You guys should We love each other. It's a family. We love each other.
I love all the time traveling that's happening on this panel. It's great.
And during season 5.
Yeah.
It's going to be based around time travel.
Every episode is gonna jump forward 10 more years. Since we're looking back on those moments, let's go down the line. If you can think of a moment, each of you, that you're really gonna carry with you, maybe from your earliest days on set, or just what are you gonna keep in here when you depart at the end of season 5?
Well, when I first came on the show, this was a family, and I was new, and just like Freya was new to the family, and all she was looking for was, her family to take her in and trust her. And this cast and crew and everyone just really did that for me, and it was just a blessing to work every day with them, and I learned so much. They're fantastic and so talented. And I got to, create a character kind of for the first time. I really got to create Freya, and it's just been, I'll always take that with me, and just take all of the memories really, but them welcoming in, just like they did with Freya in the show, was similar to what was happening with me as the actor.
But also Riley always finds the best dance bars in Atlanta.
This is true.
It's like she's the one that'll take you out and show you a good time. Like,
This is true. I will find
dance
a good
dance till
bar.
4 a.m. and
Yeah.
that's what I'll take away from you.
Yep, and Freya does too.
Yeah.
It was a long night last night, guys. I'm still recovering. But what was the question? What am I taking away from? No, it's just the relationships and just the opportunity to work. I think I've grown a great deal over these 3 years that I've been on this show. I'm always going to look back with fondness. It was a long night last night, guys. I'm sorry.
I found a bar.
There was some dancing.
There was some dancing.
I think I started the show, I think I was 22, turning 23. I'm now 28. This was such a big chunk of my life spent with these people, and I think walking into the table read the other day and knowing everyone so well and knowing the crew so well, I thought I'll probably never in my life have an experience like this again. The way TV is now, and it's very rare to spend 10 months out of the year with the same core group of people for over 5 years. I mean, other than being in high school, being in college, it's just something that I'll probably never experience again. And I feel very proud of that, and how far we've all come and what we've all gone through, and how I felt very proud and humbled to walk into that table read and feel so familiar, and everyone felt so loving towards each other. It was such a lovely moment.
That was nice, Lance. Let's let Daniel ruin that.
Okay.
Buckle up. No, I think I just like I think I'll probably take away from this the sense of joy. I think there's just such a lovely feeling going to the set. Like there's I've never been with such a group of people so willing to laugh, and I mean, because it's hard business, especially when we were in the 10 months, it was difficult, and there were long days, and I love that there was always a sense of humor about it. I think that's what I'll take away from all of it, other than the incredible sense of peace I feel whenever Joseph Morgan is not in the scene with me. Those two things.
I'm going to take away with me all of my wardrobe. It's excellent and very expensive clothes. It's probably my director's chair with my name on it. Half of Billy's wardrobe. And a real sense of satisfaction at having, started in another show. Got our own show out of it,
Ruined that one.
and then taken this show through 5 years, all of us. I feel like that's a great achievement to be really proud of.
5 years is mental.
So yeah, that and then little moments like season 1 will always be a really special season for me because it's our first, our first go at it, and so there's the episode where we were trapped in the city of the dead. I think was turbulent and kind of amazing. I don't know what to say. It's like this.
Yeah, we're all gonna cry.
I know.
That's been my mission, is to just get you guys to cry this whole time.
Yeah.
You're just trying to reduce us to tears.
It's been my plan all along. Actually, before we move on, you guys can start lining up for fan questions. I think you probably have a few. But don't make too much noise, because we still got stuff going on.
There was a moment when we were shooting the pilot episode, or the Vampire Diaries episode, the originals episode of the Vampire Diaries, whatever. And I'm sitting and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting in the French Quarter in Jackson Square, and I'm watching these two do the scene about Elijah convincing Klaus to take responsibility and to be a father, and to break the chain of dysfunction that had plagued the family for 1,000 years. And I just thought, this is one of the greatest professional moments I've had, one of the most satisfying creative moments in my entire career, because we had started with just a villain that we introduced to basically stall before we could introduce the villain from the books. And from that we got Elijah Michelson, and from that we got Elijah and Klaus, and then the world just started growing and expanding, and everybody was so good. And I think that for me has been, I won't say who, but one of the actors in the Vampire Diaries in the middle of season 3 was like, how come the originals are getting so much screen time? And I said, have you watched them act? Because they were so magnetic and so intelligent and just incredible. And as everyone is gifted in their own way, but like watching these guys bring these characters to life, it was just so incredible. So I'm going to take a sense of pride that what started as something very simple with no agenda for spin-off is now 5 years deep, and introducing a world that could launch many more shows and spin-offs to come if we're all lucky. So thanks, you guys.
Now that I've heard all that, there's like a montage running through my head, and it's a very emotional one, so I'm very vulnerable right now. But I remember it's gonna happen. Damn you! Damn you!
Don't do it. No, do it.
I mean, I've grown with these guys, and I prayed for this experience. I really did. And you have no control when you go into a show, who you're going to be with in our situation. And I just want to work with people that I really respect and love. And I respect some of these guys. I'm just acting. I'm just really.
All right, let's light it up. Let's turn over to some fan questions.
Hi. So one thing I love about the show is that you guys take things from earlier seasons and like the first season, and then you bring it back into the rest of the seasons. Like Vincent's wife, we found out about the Hollow, and the small chess piece that Klaus gives to Rebecca that shows up again. And then Elijah's Red Door. So I want to know, can we rewatch the seasons, and then will we be able to see things from previous seasons get into this final season?
Yeah, I think there's, one of the things is I just call it like the Joss Whedon school of retcon, when you do things that make it look like you were just that brilliant in the beginning. I think part of saying goodbye to a series is going back and harvesting all those great moments and saying, what's left over, what meant something to us, and how can we weave it back through? And again, when you get to say goodbye on your own terms, being able to do things like that for yourself and for the fans is actually a really enjoyable thing. So I hope so.
Also, awesome shirt.
Love your
We're
shirt.
like, oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, how do you guys see that there's TV screen? Oh my God, your eyes are
Pointing down here.
It's really good. Great scene.
Click left to watch the Originals Panel Part 1, or click right to watch the Originals Panel Part 3.